Tourne potatoes. Nothing is more classic in French cuisine and fine dining than your tourne potato. Now I have 3 tournes here, perfectly peeled up. They take a bit of time, they take a lot of patience. They can annoy a lot of chefs, but the thing is, the more time you take, the sharper knife you have. You don't need a tourne knife, you can use a vegetable knife, but a tourne knife with a hook on the end can be just that little bit more enjoyable. You want to come in deep with your potato at the very edge. You want to bring that all the way to the middle. Go narrow out on the middle, and as you come back in, go back into the potato deep. And you want to almost create like a rugby ball shape with that potato. You want to take your time. Now, once you form this shape, and you've gone all the way around your potato, both sides of that potato want to effectively mirror each other. You've got a perfect tourne that nobody will criticise, no matter how far up in fine dining you want to go, no matter whether you just want to impress your friends, maybe you want to bring something decent to the table, beef Wellington, maybe a salmon en croute, maybe even put these with roast chicken. It's very versatile and it's very cool. These are a lot larger than the standard tourne. Actually, that's a deliberate move of mine. I want to slice them lengthways and create a perfect roast potato, just to sort of show off a little, really. That's not the standard way to cook these. You cook these whole and you present them whole. Make this potato that little bit more perfect. We're going to keep going round and we're going to level off that tourne ever so gently. You don't want any rough edges. You don't want any nicks. The best tourne potatoes out there look absolutely fantastic when they come out of the oven. And here you have a perfect tourne. Let's make salmon en croute. For your roast potatoes, I don't have duck fat, so I'm going to go in with a little bit of oil and butter, half and half. I'm going to stick that in the oven for 20 minutes to heat up. You're going to finely hash a shallot and you're going to keep your tail on. I play music, so I watch my fingers. And you want to mince up a garlic clove. Give that a good chop. Personally, I love garlic in a salmon en croute. Adding some spring onion just to sweeten things up just that extra bit in the sauce. Just enough spring onions to really get that flavour. Gonna chop up a little bit of parsley. Really, with salmon en croute, you can add whatever herb you want in. You can add in dill, you can add in chives, you can add in parsley, you can add in coriander, you can add in all of those things. I'm gonna slice off just a little bit of coriander here, not too much. Again, give that a good little chop, because that's gonna go into your cream cheese. If you struggle to find your cream cheese and you don't know what you're looking for, look for Philadelphia. Just to show off that little bit more, I actually made my own cream cheese. Cream cheese, if you can't find it in the supermarket, really is just made up of only 2 ingredients, and that's any kind of fruit with lactic acid in it, or vinegar, anything acidic. So what you want to do is you want to bring up milk to a boil, and then you want to squeeze in a lemon, turn that milk sour, separate your curds from whey with a bit of cheesecloth. And once you do that, you have your homemade cream cheese. My shallots have gone into the pan. Get that oil nice and hot. Now the spinach is in the pan. We're going to wilt that down. Sweat that down with the onions and the garlic, and then we're going to put in the rest of our herbs. So we're going to put in your dill if you have dill. We don't have dill today. Now I've added in 4 dessert spoons of cream cheese. Going to bring that straight off the heat. My potatoes are out and I'm going to give them a good ruffle up, give them a nice edge, so when they go in the pan, in the oven, they're going to come out nice and crispy. My potatoes are going back in the oven for 45 minutes with rosemary, thyme and garlic. With puff pastry today, I'm actually going to show 2 different ways you can make and present a salmon en croute. There's no official way. Method number 1, you're going to take a healthy size of salmon, or even use 2 pieces like came in the pack today, because they do slice them rather thin in the supermarket. Now you've added in your cream cheese mix. You're going to egg wash all the way around the sides here. Now your first method, you want to take a slightly larger piece of pastry than your one below. You've got a perfect square, and then what you're going to do is you're going to turn this pastry into the shape of a fish. You can decide how much pastry you want. Add in a couple more scales. Make it look as realistic as possible. You might laugh at my very first fish that I've ever made in pastry. You know, they get better the more of them you make. You can neaten them up a bit. It's the beauty with pastry. You can just keep playing around with it. Never be scared of pastry. You're going to take the back of a knife and you're going to score, create an eye for the fish. Take a spoon, create a couple of fins, add some more decoration. Make a fish mouth, make whatever you want. Make that fish as realistic as you need. You know, the more time you spend with that, the cooler it's going to look when it comes out of your oven. You're going to egg wash your salmon. Sprinkle a little bit of salt on the top of that pastry if you really want, much like your beef Wellington. Your salmon is now in a preheated oven. You've turned your potatoes. Method number 2, which is your most common one in the supermarket. Maybe you just want to do a salmon en croute like you find in your supermarket. Maybe you want to do what you'd call a mini salmon en croute. Add in your mix. And this is where it gets interesting. Egg wash your pastry. And we're going to use a lattice roller. We've spent nearly £20 on a lattice roller for this video. I'm going to have to hold the other side of the pastry to complete this. We have rolled ourselves a perfect lattice. Don't separate those pieces ever so gently. You want to take your time. Your lattices can struggle to separate, but you just want to take your time. Of course, once your lattice is made, same method. You just want to add a little bit more egg wash and rock salt and stick this in the oven. Once you've pulled out your salmon en croute from the oven, after a good 20 to 25 minutes, it should look exactly like this. Maybe better, but I'm happy. This is what your potatoes will look like. Right now, of course, I'm home cooking. Arrange your potatoes however you want. You can come over to your salmon en croute and give it a good slicing. And when you give it a serve, this is what it should look like. When your lattice salmon en croutes come out, they will look like this. Feel free to comment and subscribe.